your user group is not on the highway.
Who's your reach? Who are you trying to get to? Who's Nike interested in selling their Nike clothes to? Everyone in the city.
Yeah, they don't care.
Whether you're Turkish, Moroccan, they don't care.
Yeah.
They want to sell Nike to everyone. Who's this baker trying to sell his stuff to? Everyone?
Well, I don't think he cares that much who sells who buys his
He's
brand
tried to
either.
sell.
Yeah, no.
So what happens if we put this guy here? What
Oh,
happens?
that's a different story, but I mean,
That's
if
not
it-
fine.
It's just an
Buying-
example of the wrong scale with the wrong economy.
Well, let's just say that
Of the wrong
would the French bakery situate itself here? Within this low-income ethnic community? Or would the Turkish baker situate itself in the Turkish community, selling Turkish bread?
Yeah, he expects to sell to.
Oh, he not expects, but he aims to.
Yeah.
He makes what he can do, and he makes what he can do because he's from
but
that
the question
area.
is, if
He's
for
a
example,
he's a product, and his economy is a product of his potential, of his surrounding, of his own skills, etc., etc. He might be able to branch over and open French as well. I don't want to get too much in detail. I want to go to the third step here. So, 50 people here. How many people does Nike have on a day?
150.
No, 1,000.
5,000.
Okay. You see? And I can't say, he can easily come here. Someone can say, hey, I'm a bold guy, I'm going to go on the highway, put up my bakery. That's okay. But what does that mean? What starts to shift? One, he can't do it on his own anymore, because he might have 5,000 clients on the day who are stopping by here, who then he leaches onto this economy.
And people don't get off the highway for bread.
They do get off for this,
Yeah.
and then he can catch them.
Yeah.
So he's not making 50 a day. He has to work his ass off. He has to industrialize his product. But secondly, what's the square meter here? The cost of square meter here compared to square meter here,
Much lower than.
Much lower.
compared to square meter here.
He has to call himself McDonald's. Yeah.
You see what starts to happen here? How the conditions, the urban condition here, and the cost of ground is fundamentally conditioned by its access with visibility to a certain kind of economic sector. And then not only that its economic viability, but even its activity zone in the sense of a place here, which has a certain kind of price, I have no idea what it is because it's all subsidized. But even though you put all of that, for the simple fact that it doesn't have a simple flow, it'll never become a naturally evolving area. It's like me saying, here, I'm going to put a pump, which is going to constantly have to pump water and get the movement going. So I'm constantly investing in my pump. I'm constantly investing in subsidizing this area. Because it's not just natural flow. It's not embedded. It's some kind of artificial creation that somehow is leeching on, that is not kind of using, well, you know, this is artificial, this is just placed there. The things that came out of here emerged out of its potential. You can extrapolate this much further back in time. Because we come with a departure point that we say it's space first and all else afterwards. And we're bold enough to say that because we say the space was here before anything else was here. And let's try to extrapolate this as a little game. What is where and why? Why are the Dutch and the Dutch society and the Dutch culture the way they are? That's a what and where is why question. Why are these Dutch and this way of thinking and this kind of cultural manifestation, why is it, why did it come to existence? Why aren't we like the French? Why aren't we like the Italians?
It's part of the culture because the conditions where we live in, our environment, just formed us in the way we are. We learned from our environment and from the mistakes we made, and by that we changed ourselves,
Okay.
So we learn from space.
our culture.
So,
Yeah.
the word culture, where does it come from?
Cultivating.
Cultivate. We cultivate the land, and the land cultivates us. Why will you never have an Eiffel Tower in Holland?
I think you asked the same question last week, didn't you?
Can you answer?
We have it. Maaslaagskier.
See, something like the Eiffel Tower works on indirect relationships. You invest heavily in something because of an iconic potential that it has, and it'll serve and bring you tourism, etc. So indirectly, it will generate a lot. Identity, economy, tourism, etc. Most of Holland's relationships are very direct, very pragmatic. Because you don't really have time to make some kind of wishy-washy stuff. If through your history, you've been dealing with, we got one thing to deal with, we're below sea level. You know? And that's simple. The French, they got mountains, they got other areas, they got all this other stuff here, so they start thinking about different things. The Italians, why are you such a mess in Italy? You got this one landscape which is so long, and it's so different. It each different terrain. But you got such fundamental difference within one little country, one mega country actually. And that helps to condition why this piece of peninsula, situated with the Arabs on the one side and Asia on the other side and the Africans on the other side, and you got this kind of huge mix of ethnic diversity. Now, Holland, situated on the northern part of Europe, small little inky-dinky thingy there, which became super efficient, became super management in how they manage their space, because they mastered the environment before any other culture did in their existence. Manage how they would manage each other in a kind of a social, liberal kind of context. But this small little thing here became the first ever global enterprise with the East Indies and the West Indies trade route. They were the first country in the entire world that could tell time over the entire world. And they could manage a communication over the entire world. The Romans couldn't even do this. The Romans might have had a big empire. The Dutch said, we've got the South, we've got the East Indies, we've got the West Indies. We've got everything. All the trade route was managed by the Dutch. This little country, because its efficiency on planning on space was born into these people long before they started to manage this. And all the potentiality came out of that condition that is there long before. So space as a primary condition for whatever follows is not only at this level, it can be extrapolated way, 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 way back. That's why I was telling you yesterday, but when you include the spatial condition, the social and the historical suddenly become far more interesting. That's what explains the Dutch. Not because of the history in the society, but because of the space in which that society and that history took place in. This is why people are saying what space managed to do for us. So what we do is, and this I want to kind of round off now, is this is a kind of a generic theory, a general theory, that there is some kind of relationship between the scale of a space and the scale of the economy. But there are areas that are, for example, a bypass the rule, gated community, kind of doesn't fit there. Or, for example, as the Chinese taught me, a fantastic saying that says, I'll translate it in English, if the wine is sweet, it doesn't matter how deep the alley is. If the wine is sweet, it doesn't matter how deep the alley is. What do you think that means? You know how the hutong structure of the Chinese city is? You have the spatial configuration.
You go for the product that you really desire.
So they have very, very deep alleys that actually end nowhere. You know, you got the main street here, you got the hutong structure which kind of breaks open. You got these very deep alleys. So what they're trying to say here, if the wine is sweet, it doesn't matter how deep the alley is. Where does a shop normally position itself?
Preferably along the main
If you have,
roads.
if you have a choice on a road,
Big- big
here's your
key.
choice, here's your road.
The intersection,
Would you put it here? Would you put it here? Would you put it here?
the intersection,
Yeah.
the most visibility.
Why?
Yeah.
Most visibility, the more people coming up.
Simple. Here I have the most visibility. Like everyone who's walking here will see me, everyone walking here will see me. Flat. There's my most chance. Where are the shops mostly situated? On the corner. But you can have areas that have, good vitality here. And at a certain point, so this road can be a big vital road, and maybe the little roads that enter the neighborhood here, they might also get a little bit of activity. They might be able to feed off that. Same way that river that's flowing can feed off and stream, can feed off to its sides. But at a certain point, it'll die out. So if you're living all the way over here, you probably won't get that same kind of commercial activity either on the road. But there's a saying, they say, if the wine is sweet, it doesn't matter how deep the alley is. It's basically what Waldo's trying to pick up on. If something has high quality, and it's good, people will go out of their way to visit it. Whether they're from here or from here, it doesn't make a difference. It's an exception to the rule. The quality itself transcends. So you've got those couple of restaurants that you might know that are completely out of the way. Well, you go there because it's damn good food. Or a certain clothes shop. Or you go to the organic farmer who is way outside the city because you just want to have his local organic farming. So all these kind of things, so there's an exception, but getting quality as a departure point is very difficult. Because you can't guarantee that. So you can't say, you're going to have a really, really good shop, it doesn't matter really, because how does that emerge? Some grandmother makes really great cakes, sells here cakes, and the people in the neighborhood buy cakes. This person has a friend. Shit, man, check out the cake. Tells a friend, comes over, some person visits them, they go there, they have a cake. That's how it spreads, word by mouth. Because the quality just will transcend any other logic. But you can't use this as a departure point because you can't guarantee that beforehand. Like you can't use a gated community as a way to do it unless you know you've got a high income people that are going to be moving in there. So we use what we can. And if we create certain kind of spatial conditions, we're going to support certain kind of activities, certain potential economies. We won't have an IKEA here. We'll have all middle scale commercial activity here. Because these commercial activity, are they feeding this neighborhood behind? Oh, that's who they're interested in?
No. Oh, no.
They're interested in everyone who's in Rotterdam. Usually people in the city center of Rotterdam. Would come here. So their service, their orientation is a city scale service. So you got here a city scale activity and a city scale economy, but is this road a city scale road? There's a disjunction. And the only way to keep it alive is that something artificial has to come in and pump in money. The little shop here, the shop here. All these economies are sitting and embedded in a certain kind of spatial logic that will support it. And with those two, you can then go to the policymakers and say, hey guys, check it out. Let me show you something. You got a degraded neighborhood here. I want to vitalize it. I got some ideas, but I'm going to need your support. Then you can tell them to give you the policy measures because you first be able to explain them the spatial conditions you're trying to do here, because the goal you're trying to achieve. You just tell them, hey, come on, man, let this guy sell stuff, it's going to work. They say, okay, they open up the policies that you can sell stuff. Maybe 1 or 2 or 3 or maybe 5 shops work out, but 10 years down the road, things shifted. Because you can't change, those closing words that we had last week, you can't change society unless you change the space. You can't change activity unless you create a new condition. If you shift the condition, the rest will take place without you even touching it. And the great thing is about this is, when you become a really good designer, you're going to design spaces of vitality, the kind of vitality that you want. Because you might not always want a pipe. You might want a semi-secluded kind of things. But you're doing it fully intentional. Because you're knowing which kind of tools you're going to put in to get what thing out of it.